Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers about hikers for everybody.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning.
Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast with the spotlight on section hikers.
And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
I am excited to announce that the podcast episodes that are specific to the Mountains to Sea Trail are now being sponsored by the MST Guide by Pocket Trails. The MST Guide is the most comprehensive app for maps and navigation developed for the Mountains to Sea Trail, providing unprecedented information and ease of access for day hikers, section hikers, and through hikers. Never get lost again. Updated maps with trail route changes and everything you need from parking areas, camping locations, water sources, and more. Available now for download through Google Play and coming soon for the iPhone. Check it out and download today. The MST Guide by Pocket Trails. Follow the lines in the palm of your hand. Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Jester Section Hiker, the premier podcast with the spotlight on section hikers. And I'm your host, Julie Jester Gayhart. I am back with another episode featuring my quest to hike all 40 day hikes from the book, Great Day Hikes on North Carolina's Mountains to Sea Trail. This episode is pretty special because I have reached hike number 20 in the halfway mark of completing all 40 hikes. As you will hear, this day ended up completely different than I had envisioned in my mind that morning before starting the hikes. I almost decided not to go on the hikes and reschedule the entire weekend. Wow, I'm sure glad I didn't do that. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the podcast. And if you are new to the show, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Now on to hikes 18, 19, and 20, full of lakes, historic mills, boardwalks, and a couple interviews with some like-minded MST hikers. All right, you guys, I am back, coming to you from the Mountains to Sea Trail, continuing my journey across the state of North Carolina by completing the 40-day hikes in the book Great Day Hikes on North Carolina's Mountains to Sea Trail. And it is Saturday, December the 12th, and I am currently on hike number 18. And I've got to tell you guys, I have already had a great time, and I am about halfway done with this hike, and I can't wait to tell you guys what happened right at the beginning of the hike. But let me go ahead and tell you guys about this. This is hike number 18, Greensboro Watershed Lakes. You start at Lake Brant Marina, and you will hike to Church Street. The distance is 3.5 miles one way. The degree of difficulty is easy to moderate. And so far, being about halfway through this hike, I will agree with that. The trail type, yes, you are on all trail. The elevation gain is 401 feet. The loss is 430 feet. The highlights of this hike are lake views, wildflowers, mature Piedmont forest. And the book description of this hike, some information that they give you. This says the Greensboro watershed lakes are a string of 3 lakes, Higgins, Brant, and Townsend, that provide water to the city of Greensboro. Nearly 50 miles of trails that surround the lakes, offering bountiful opportunities for hiking, running, biking, and nature watching. The MST incorporates 19 miles of these trails, mostly along the southern slopes of Lake Brant and Lake Townsend. This hike is one of the most scenic and relatively very little used sections of the trail. And I will say, ever since I left the marina where you actually start the hike, I really haven't seen anybody, and it's been great. So let me go ahead and back up. When you actually pull into the parking area, you kind of have 2 options. You can either park right at the road at a gravel parking area, right where you see the Mountains to Sea Trail circle blazes, or you can go down kind of in the marina area through a gate and park there. And there were actually restrooms there. And as of today, they were actually open. The little marina store was not open, but the restrooms were. So that was a plus. So got all parked at everything and put my pack on and all that good stuff and taking pictures. And I started on the trail, and I actually saw some trail maintainers working on the trail. So I started talking to them, and I said, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to make sure that I was going the right way. And sure enough, I was going west on the Mountains to Sea Trail when I needed to be going east on the Mountains to Sea Trail. But ends up, it was actually a group from the Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail that were working on the trail. And there were probably 7 or 8 people doing trail maintenance. And we were talking, and we ended up exchanging cards. And I told them what I was doing for the podcast. So we started talking about the 40 hikes. And I believe the gentleman's name was Greg. I will double check that when I'm done hiking this hike, because he ended up after the hike, or after our chat, telling me that he was actually on the board of the Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail. And it ended up being hilarious because we're just talking, and it ends up, I was going the wrong way. And then I ended up talking about the podcast. And before I left them, it was like we were all best friends, and it was like the greatest thing. So that actually started the hike off with a bang, which was really cool to meet one of the board members and a lot of people working on the trail. So thank you all for that. Really appreciate that. And another thing I wanted to tell you guys is make sure before you come out and do this hike 18 does have a little bit of a correction in the Mountains to Sea Trail, on the Mountains to Sea Trail organization website. Apparently at point 2, when you start the hike, there used to be a sign telling you which direction to go. And it's really easy to figure out where the turn is because there's this huge circle concrete block and blue little flags. And you pretty much just turn right at the flags. And then you continue on. And I got to tell you right away, you're looking on both sides of the trail and you're seeing these bamboo trees. I mean, I've never seen anything like that before, which was pretty cool. And one of the things I'm starting to notice as I'm working my way through the Piedmont is you can really tell. I have to stop going uphill out of breath, but you can really tell where the Friends of the Mountains of Sea Trail organization and the trail clubs and various things are moving this trail off the road, working on the trails, maintaining different areas. And even though you are not in what I would call mountainous terrain, you're actually on trail. And as you can tell, I'm out of breath. So there are some good climbs on these, I guess what I would call on hike number 18. You're walking, like right now on the right-hand side, I'm just looking up, the side of a hill, and on the left-hand side, I'm looking down the hill, and it looks kind of like a little bit of a marshy area, which I'm going to assume the lakes kind of feed off and end up in this little area here where you are walking on this hike. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, between meeting some of the Friends of the Mountains of Sea Trail organization, meeting one of the board members this morning, and I'm pretty sure his name is Greg, but like I said, I will double check on that. And I'm probably a little over halfway done on this hike, and another great hike. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about this, even though some of this hiking is a little bit different for me because I'm so used to being on mountainous terrain. But hey, that's part of the uniqueness of the Mountains of Sea Trail, and I'm going to say it is really growing on me. So wanted to come on here real quick, tell you guys about day hike number 18. You start off in the parking lot there, you head east for 3.5 miles, and right now I have not seen a soul, and the hiking has been great. You just kind of undulate a little bit up and down. A lot of it was flat in the beginning, so relatively easy hike so far. Looking forward to continuing the rest of this, and I am actually in hopes that I'm going to go and complete day hike number 19 right after this, and also day hike number 20. And that's really exciting because that'll mean that I am halfway through these hikes and halfway through the book, and I am really enjoying this. So I am going to get back to hiking here, and I will be back to chat with you guys real soon for hike number 19. All right, you guys, I am back. It is still Saturday, December the 12th, and hopefully you can hear the river beside me. I am actually on hike number 19, following the Mountains of Sea Trail and the Haw River Trail. So before I get going on what's already happened on this hike, let me go ahead and give you some information. So this is hike number 19, the Haw River Trail, Great Bend Park to Stony Creek Marina. The distance is 2.9 miles one way. The degree of difficulty is moderate. The trail type, I wrote down all trail, but actually it's not on all trail. So at the beginning of the hike, I'll talk about that here shortly. You do have a little bit of a road walk, but it is a great road walk, and I will definitely get into that. The elevation gain is a whopping 244 feet. The loss is 253 feet. And the highlights are a beautiful trail along the Rocky Haw River, historic textile mill, and village. And this is the information from the book. This trail captures a slice of one of the most important economic engines in the Piedmont of the 19th and early 20th centuries, textiles. From the rapidly flowing Rocky River that provided the power to the village where the mill workers lived, to the mills that produced the textiles, you will encounter the full range of the industry. In between, enjoy the beautiful woods, wildlife, and nature sounds along this diverse stretch. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. I want to start from the end of hike number 18. And actually, when you end that hike, the parking area is actually pretty big, and How's it going? Good. Great hike, huh?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so the parking area at the end of hike number 18 is pretty big. And in between hike number 18 and 19, it's actually about a 40-minute drive. And wow, what a drive. I will say it is holiday season, so it was great to see everybody's houses decorated, everybody's yards looking very festive. And what I mean by that is when you went by one huge farmhouse and farmland area, and they probably had 50 Christmas inflatables. So that was pretty cool. But just driving through the country, seeing the farm fields, and really seeing an area of North Carolina that I probably would never have driven through if it wasn't for these hikes. So just wanted to fill you in on that and keep you in mind as you are thinking about or have started these day hikes. The driving in between is almost just as scenic to look at as the actual hikes themselves. So let's get to hike number 19. The parking area there is where you start the hike. There's a kiosk. There's actually some really good maps there pertaining to the Mountains to Sea Trail and the Haw River Trail. So picked up one of those. Thank you to that trail club that does that. And you start off this hike, and it's almost kind of like you're on a rail bed style, old type road, gravelly, and you really just start off hiking along the Haw River there, and then you get to, how's it going? And then you get to the town of Glencoe, or the Glencoe Mill District, I guess is what I'm going to call it. And it is probably a half a mile road walk through this district. I mean, you can see the mill, you can see the old water tower, and the fascinating thing of walking through there are the houses that obviously they were the houses that all the workers lived in around the town that were originally working in the mill, but they have been redone. There are kiosk signs as you're walking through, and you can stop and read those signs. And I saw a couple people outside their houses working in their yards and things like that. Very friendly, waving. I am sure they are used to seeing hikers on this section of trail because it is, wow, very historic. I try not to read too much information about the hike before I actually come do these hikes, because I want to really kind of know nothing about it. So when I'm giving you guys information, it's fresh, it's new, and all that good stuff. So after you walk through the town of I call it a town, but it's just the village, I guess, or something of Glencoe. I'll figure that out and I will fill you guys in on that. But you are on the road, and another funny story, I actually missed. There is a turnoff on the right-hand side, right past the mill, where you actually bop down into and get on trail. And of course, I missed it. And I was just walking on the road, reading the signs, and kind of got more engrossed than that than looking for the trail. And made the right-hand turn because I saw another parking area and figured, hey, that's probably where the trail goes. And saw this guy and a couple other people, they were standing by the car. And I said, hey, is this the Mountains to Sea Trail? And they were like, yeah. And I said, I think I missed the turnoff. And one of the guys he said, yeah, it's right there. And I said, all right, well, I don't want to miss trail. And he's like, wait a minute, I recognize your voice. You're Jester. And I was like, oh, wow, that is so cool. And he's like, I like hikers like you. You don't want to skip trail. So I actually went up and hiked the little area of trail back up to the road and came back down. And he and I chatted for a couple minutes. It was really cool to talk to him. He is section hiking the Mountains to Sea Trail, but he's trying to do it within a year. And So that will basically, he'll be considered a through hiker, and he's biking some of it. And he actually biked the area between hike 18 and 19. And so that was pretty cool. And then he was continuing on, I'm not sure how many more miles on the trail here. So he's ahead of me, but that was really, really cool. So you guys, these hikes never cease to surprise me. Just when I think, hey, no problem, this will be 2.9 miles, and then I'll just hop back in the car and go on to the next one. It's just, I just see one thing after the other, and that is the thing about doing these hikes. And I know that I am doing them in order, just for consistency, so I can report on them in order of the book. But I'm telling you right now, if you guys live anywhere near these hikes, who cares if they're in order? Get out on the trail, walk through these historic mill towns. I mean, this has been great. And again, yesterday, which was Friday, I truly contemplated whether or not I was going to do these hikes today, because I was so tired last night when I got in from work and all that stuff that everybody else goes through. And then again, I was like, no, I'm going to go do these hikes because they will make me feel better. And yes, they certainly have. And I will say here, I'm going to stop, and right on the right-hand side is the Ha River. On my left-hand side is just beautiful natural woods. You can see right through the trees because all the leaves are gone. And you guys, I am going to get off the mic here, I guess, so to speak, and enjoy the second half of this hike. And if I see anything I need to report here before or once I get on hike number 20, I will do that as well. But yeah, hike number 19, how cool is it to walk through these historic textile towns? It's just almost like you could feel the breeze blowing, and you could imagine the buzz of the town when the mill was going. And well, I'll leave you with one of the cool things about several of the houses is back in the day when the mill was really going, they would make 2 entryways in the front of the homes. That way, if there were different parts of the family working different shifts, they wouldn't interrupt each other. And I thought that was really cool. And I got a couple pictures of some houses that had 2 doors. So I'm going to continue on and enjoy the rest of this hike. And I truly hope you guys get out here and either do these 40-day hikes, or wherever you are in your area, find out, the great day hikes in your state and start doing those, because I'm telling you right now, you're going to find out things you never knew about your state. All right, I'm going to continue on this hike, and I will be back to chat with you guys real soon on hike number 20. All right, guys, I am back, and I am still on hike number 19. And the gentleman that I was referring to earlier that recognized me, it's weird when someone recognizes you from the podcast at the Mountains of Sea Trail. He showed me where the trail was because I obviously took a wrong turn. But he's here with me now, so I just wanted to ask him a few questions. So, first of all, tell us your name.
My real name is Ryan, and my trail name is Gritty.
Gritty, yep. Because you got grit.
Because I like to think I got some grit. Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So did you get your trail name? Because this gentleman not only is currently section hiking and trying to complete the Mountains of Sea Trail in a year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you just got off your bike before I saw you.
Yep. I'm hopefully I'll finish up segment 9 today. I biked here from Bryan Park, I think it's called, which is about a 25-ish mile ride. And then we'll hike 6 miles, jump back on the bike, finish. I got 16 miles left, and that'll be segment 9 for me.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah. And he is also an Appalachian Trail completer. So what year did you complete the AT?
I started July 19th, 2018, and finished January 7th, 2019.
All right. So do you consider yourself
2018
like... Okay.
Yeah.
So did you go south?
Sobo, yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Obviously you got your trail name, like you said, Grit, on the AT.
Grit. Yeah, I kind of... Well, with Sobos, you kind of like... You don't necessarily name yourself, but it's a little less of the naming thing going on because you're more spread out. You're not hiking with just Appalachian Trail hikers. It's like a bunch of people. So I kind of had the idea of gritty going into it just because like I had worked hard to get to the trail like we all do, saving money and just, making plans. So then with a couple of my trail friends, a few days into the hike, I just said, gritty.
Yeah.
And one of my hiking partners kind of knighted me with her trekking pole. And she's like, I knight you gritty, or I name you gritty, whatever. And it just, I stuck with it.
Well, that is awesome. So when did you start your journey on the Mountains of Sea Trail?
It was I think February, not 14th, or somewhere around mid-February of 2020.
Okay.
And then we had the idea to definitely get the whole thing done because I love North Carolina. This is my home state, and if you're going to be a hiker, you got to rep your state, and this is
That's right. That's why I'm out here. And I don't know why it's taken me so long. So yeah, Gritty and I are out here repping our state. That's exactly a great way to put it.
Yeah. And so I didn't have too much of a plan or direction other than just starting it. I live in Durham, right next to the River, so it's easy to get on the trail. And then as the year progressed, I just got the idea, and the desire to finish the whole thing before the end of 2020, which I'm not going to, obviously, because I still got a few segments left. But if I'm going to finish it before mid-February 2021.
Okay. So that way you can be considered, your section hiking, yes.
Through hiker, but I'm still working and stuff, so I'm working during the week. Driving on the weekends to a parking lot, Ubering back and forth to the car, that kind of thing. So it's really a long ass section hike. It's almost like a combination of all of them.
And I love it.
Biking too.
And biking too. And I love it. So last question, I'll let you go here because both of us are going to get back to hiking, and your family is hanging out over here that's right. Your family's hanging out over here.
Yeah, I'm so blessed.
By the river. And so what has been your favorite? It's hard to say this on the Mountains of Sea Trail because you got the mountains, you got the coastal plains. What's been your favorite area and maybe town?
Oh man, well, it's so hard because I'm a mountains guy, but also I'm a beach guy too. So just the idea of going from the beach all the way, from the mountains, I'm going eastbound. So that idea is kind of the overall favorite thing of it. But I would say, hiking through the Smokies and that part of the Blue Ridge Parkway, that was awesome. That was my first time there.
Well, then I have to ask you about Linville Gorge.
Hopefully that's my next segment. That'll be segment 4. I'm trying to do that before the end of 2020. So maybe next weekend I'll be doing that, hopefully. And I love Linville Gorge. Can't wait. I did the Linville Gorge Trail this year, so technically speaking, I did do a good part of the Mountains of Sea Trail through Linville Gorge, but I'm going to hike it again when I get back up there. Can't wait to get there.
All right, well, very cool. Well, Gritty and I are going to get back to it here and finish up our hiking. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jester. I really appreciate it.
All right, chat soon.
Definitely.
All right, you guys, I am back. It is still Saturday, December the 12th, and hooray! I am actually on hike number 20. Hike number 20 is so far, I'm a little over a mile in, and I just now got to a point where it wasn't so crowded, and rightly so, because it's absolutely gorgeous out here, but just got to a point here where it wasn't so crowded, where I could actually record. And let's get to it with the description of the hike. Hike number 20, Hillsborough Riverwalk, Gold Park to, who knows if I'm going to get this right, Okonichi Speedway. The distance of this hike is 2.1 miles one way. The degree of difficulty is easy, and I will agree with that. And the trail type is paved, greenway, and trail, and so far it has only been paved greenway. The elevation gain is, again, another whopping 101 feet, and the loss is 108 feet. The highlights are the lovely greenway along the Eno River, historic trail town, and historic NASCAR Speedway. And here is the description. Hillsborough is one of the most historic towns in North Carolina. At the heart of the 1765 to 1771 Regulator Uprising against the British leading up to the Revolutionary War, it was later home to the North Carolina legislature during the war itself. This hike passes along the Eno River to the center of this bustling town. Turning to more recent history, the hike continues to the Occoneechee Speedway, one of the first two NASCAR racetracks to open in the inaugural 1949 season. Numerous information panels along the way on the trail provide a wealth of information about the area's history and ecology. And that could not be more true. So, you guys, this hike, number 20, actually starts in Gold Park. And beautiful park. They have a big dog park. And so far, it has been all paved. I am probably well over a mile into this hike, and all kinds of people out with their families, taking photos, doing all kinds of stuff, enjoying the afternoon. And the boardwalks and the bridges on this hike, to me, are what are the highlights so far. I have not made it to the Speedway, and I'm really looking forward to that. But all I can say about hike number 20 is it starts off in beautiful Gold Park. It is a paved trail, beautiful boardwalk, beautiful bridges, and very true in the description. There are kiosks along the way that talk about historic Hillsborough and various things going on in the town. Right now, on my left, I'm literally passing the Hillsborough Urban Gardens, hillsboroughurban.org, hillsboroughurban.org. So just because I'm seeing that and I'm talking about it, I'm going to go ahead and look that up and put that in the show notes. And right in front of me, you guys, is another footbridge. That is one thing I'm going to say so far, what I'm learning about the Mountains of Sea Trail. You guys got it going on with the footbridges. They are beautiful, well-made, well-maintained, and getting ready to go over a beautiful bridge right now. And on my left-hand side, there is a kiosk. And this one is talking about the historic roads, lost roads. I'll go ahead and read this. It's pretty cool. Long before there was a Hillsborough, ancient trade routes and footpaths used by Native Americans and Europeans converged at the future site of our town. One road came down the Occoneechee Island on the Dan River in what is now Virginia, a trading path to the Catawba and Cherokee Indian settlements, connected fords over the Flat River to the east with fords over the Haw River to the west. This path eventually became Hillsborough's King Street. Beneath the wooden bridge before you was a trail that connected Native American villages near a site called Fish Dam on the Neuse River to the Native American villages along the Eno River. Traces of this route are still evident at other sites between the Eno and the Neuse settlements. So all along this river walk, and here I am at the bridge going over, are little kiosks like that give information about this awesome historic town. And you guys, there is not much more to say about this hike except, oh, there is a brochure. Nope, no more brochures left. Thought I was going to get a Visit Hillsborough brochure, but I will look that up as well and try to give you guys some more information about this historic town itself in my opening or closing remarks. I really want to look up. Oh, that was one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. There is also bamboo trees on this hike. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. So very unique. Boardwalks, bridges, very easy trail. Get out here, you guys. Come out here and see hike number 20. I am so pumped that I have hiked 20 of these hikes. So I am going to leave you guys with that. I am heading to the Speedway, and I will be back to chat with you guys real soon. Yay! 20 out of 40 complete. All right, you guys, you thought you were done hearing from me. I thought I was going to the Speedway, but the hike actually ends in the parking lot right before the Speedway. And I have another hiker with me that is actually out doing the day hikes. I saw her earlier on hike number 19, and I said, hey, are you doing the day hikes? So I said, hey, you want to be on the podcast? So tell us your name.
Alonda Heron.
Alonda Heron, welcome to the Jester Section Hiker podcast. And you just told me everything you're doing, but I'm going to make you repeat it, okay?
All right.
So tell us how long when you started the day, how you heard about the day hikes and how long you've been out.
I found the day hikes on accident, because when you look up hiking information, stuff scrolls onto your Facebook about hiking. And I found the Mountain to Sea Trail information, went on the website, learned about the book, went on Amazon, ordered it, and like the end of October 30th, 31st, I was like, I'm going to start hiking like every week. I'm going to go on a hike, and was waiting for the book. And so I started the very next weekend. I started trying to do the day hikes, and sometimes I'll do one or two for that day, or I'll do a day hike and extend it longer.
Yeah.
On the MST, like I did when I did the Park, the one up in Durham.
Okay.
I don't remember what number. It's actually after Hillsborough, so it might be
21
like 21
or
or 20, yeah, somewhere around there. I did that when I was like, okay, this is for me. I can handle this. I don't have to have camping gear. I can go do these day hikes. I can make them longer if I want to, or just do the day hike. And it's perfect for somebody like me that, doesn't really have the money or the time to go through hikes somewhere.
Well, I think it's awesome, and I'm glad I said, hey, are you doing, because it's just kind of not a coincidence that here we were in cars and we drove to the Dexwood and came from. So which ones have you done? So you said you've been out on how many?
Like 6 or 7.
Okay.
I have my book with my notations in my backpack, but I'm not going to torture you with pulling it out. I know I just did the one that started at Great Bend.
Yep.
Bend Park. I did the Eno River State Park one. I've done, obviously, the Hillsborough River Walk.
Yep, number 20. That's what we're on right now.
What is the... I can't even keep track because...
The only reason I know is because I'm doing them in order for the podcast.
And I'm absolutely not doing them. Oh, I did the Cascades Preserve hike.
That's a nice one, too. Yes.
I did that one. And like I said, I've definitely forgotten a couple. And I could be at like 5, but I'm pretty sure it's like between 5 and 7.
So how far am I from the actual Speedway here?
I went, there's a kiosk with a map sign, and it's maybe 2/10 of a mile.
Okay,
tops.
so not far. Because I envisioned this hike. Literally, I was going to end at the Speedway. I have no clue why I thought that, but now I have to go see it.
If it wasn't so late in the day, I was tempted to keep going through some of the stuff that's not part of the day hike trail. But I decided, let me turn my hiney around and get back to my car, because I still have to drive 2 hours to get home.
Yeah, I do, and we do too. So I live in Charlotte, so.
Yeah, I live in Laurinburg, so it's.
Oh, wow.
It's almost in South Carolina.
Okay, well, you are dedicated. All right, well, I will not keep you. I'm going to try to see this Speedway. You're going to get in the car and head home and probably get something to eat, because if you're like me.
Get lost.
All right, well, thank you for joining me for just a second, and happy trails and happy day hiking.
Thank you. You too.
All right, take care.
You too.
As you heard, these hikes ended up being pretty special. And a very special thanks to Greg Yahn, who is the Upper Haw River Task Force leader and Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail board member, for chatting with me at the beginning of hike number 18. I wish I would have been able to record Greg on the spot, but I didn't want to interrupt their trail work on the trail. We did exchange business cards, and here's what his says. The volunteers of the Upper Ha River Task Force build and maintain the MST from Greensboro, North Carolina to Saxapahaw. The section passes along lakes, pastures, rivers, and crosses streams. We could use your help to build new trail and maintain existing trail. We supply tools and training. We need your time and energy. Another thanks to Ryan or Gritty for chatting with me and sharing a few minutes with me recording. What another great advocate and Mountains to Sea Trail hiker out repping the state of North Carolina. And another thanks to Alonda for being willing to chat on the podcast about her goal of completing all 40 day hikes. Good luck on the hikes, Alonda, and happy day hiking. Be sure to go on the Mountains to Sea Trail website and check out the trail updates to see if any changes have been made to the routes. There are updates for hikes 18 and 20. Take a look at the show notes for this episode at hikingradionetwork.com. I am adding information about the Glencoe Mill Village, the Urban Garden, and the historic town of Hillsborough, North Carolina. And one last thing, you may want to check out Hillsborough Barbecue Company after hike number 20. Amazing barbecue and hush puppies. If you like what we do here at the Hiking Radio Network, please check out our website and consider a donation to your favorite show. Thanks for listening, everybody, and happy section hiking.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning light. I wonder if you'd wander with me, and I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. You're wondering if I go wandering with you, what kind of trouble we'll get ourselves into. Would it be wrong to tag along with a band of vagabonds? You wonder if I'd wander with you. So I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river. I'm wondering if you'd come wandering my way, if you ever get lost or if the trail leads you astray. The music of the pack can always bring you back. I wonder, can we wander away? And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.